Good morning and welcome to Codegarden 2019. Woo!
Alright.
Much better. Thank you, everyone.
So some quick introductions. My name is Shannon.
And my name is Jim.
We're going to spend a few minutes this morning preparing you guys for the amazing times ahead.
Yep. Before you get started, we need to go through some important details. But first, a little bit info about you.
About you guys.
Yeah.
Right. So we're going to raise our hands if this is your first Codegarden.
Oh,
wow. That is
so
amazing.
many new faces. That's so cool.
Who's been here twice? All right,
Yep.
so people are coming back?
Yeah, familiar faces.
So how many people have been more than twice? Very awesome. Keep your hands raised, right? Keep them up. All right, so these are your Codegarden veterans. So the first timers, take a look around and look at these people holding their hands. We're a community here and we're all here to help each other out. So these guys will help you out, right? Okay, cool.
All right, cool.
So a bit more of the boring stuff. Let's talk about some logistics.
Yes, an important thing to know about every conference is to know where the toiletta is.
Toiletta is the toilets in English, and they are located just back there on your left, on our right.
Yep, and we also have some urinsøjler.
That's roughly translated to festival urinals.
Yeah, you can say that.
It's directly translated to this. That's a true story. They are all the way back there, I think outside.
Yep.
On your right.
All right, yet another important detail is to know something about the trådløst netværk.
And what Jim is actually talking about is the Wi-Fi.
Yeah, okay, just the Wi-Fi then. The Wi-Fi worked quite well last year, but please do remember to not connect all of your 20 devices, downloading movies, running backups. We need to share it with everyone.
So moving on to the agenda, we're going to have the Codegarden schedule, all the Wi-Fi details posted up on all the walls throughout the conference, right?
Oh yeah, and let's talk a bit about the different areas that we have here at Codegarden.
Indeed, so the entrance is the place that you should have come in through. It's back there. Mm-hmm. It's a good place to hang out, good hack space. It's also where you get registered, and if you aren't registered and you're in here, maybe you should go do that after this.
Good idea.
Also inside the entrance, there is a place we call the Cloud Lab.
Yeah, the Cloud Lab. And at the Cloud Lab, you can get all your questions in relation to Umbraco Cloud answered. We will be there. Someone from HQ will be there throughout Codegarden. So yeah, just come to Cloud Lab. Next to Cloud Lab, we also have Dream Corner.
So the Dream Corner is a cool space for talking about the CMS. So if you got some great ideas or design ideas or implementation things, or you want to hear from other people about their ideas, head on over to the Dream Corner. There's going to be people from HQ there to talk you through all these things, even teach you some cool stuff. If you want to learn how to make your first PR to maybe sketching up some ideas, that's where you want to go.
Really cool place.
And then moving more this way, just behind you, we've got a place called the Friend Corner, which functions as a meeting point for the partners. So if you're a partner, pop on down to the Friend Corner. You have a chat with other partners there, and of course with Anders and Helle from HQ.
Sure, and then we have the bar area right down here. Great place to hang out, get some coffee, get some beers. Beside the bar area, outside, we have the garden. Which is also a quite nice place to hang out, especially if it's raining, but if you need some fresh air, it's just a great place to be.
And we're working on that weather, right?
Oh, yes, we are. I called someone this morning, so
after this,
don't worry, tomorrow it will be better.
We'll sort it out.
Yeah.
So coming this way, we've got the main stage. This is it. We are on it. You're looking at it. This is the main one.
Yeah, and just over to your left, we have the theater stage.
And some food, let's talk about where you get that. So lunch and dinner will be served beyond the garden on your right, on the far end.
Mm-hmm. And closer this way, beyond the garden, to your right, you'll find the barn, which is another great stage for presentations, right over here.
And also within the barn, we've got a new thing called the Mindful Corner, where Chris Deminick, our resident wellness expert, is back again this year to do some sort of relaxed, chilled out yoga, meditation. It's a good place to just contemplate your Codegarden experience.
Yeah.
And this year, we're actually going to try something a bit new, okay? we're going to do, all together, a quick mindful exercise. Okay? Don't panic if you've never done anything like this before. Jim and I are going to be here.
We will do it.
And we're going to do it alongside with you guys.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure you guys will be great at this because all you really need to do is breathe. And I think we are all capable of doing that.
And you'll be safe.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay,
All right.
so what we're going to do is we're going to invite Chris up on stage to help us out with this exercise. So please give a warm round of applause for Chris Deminick.
Come on, Chris, welcome.
Take her away.
Alrighty, thanks for having me and welcome to Codegarden. So we're just going to do a really short, simple group breathing exercise just to get you feeling present and calm, right? And the reason that we use our breath is a really good way to help you focus on what's happening right now, right in front of you, rather than what's happening later, yeah? And it also helps activate our parasympathetic nervous system, which is your relaxation response, so your calming response, yeah? And this is something that you can do all through Codegarden, so take this with you. If you ever need a moment just to chill and reset, you can come back to this exercise that we're about to do, and take it home as well. You can do this at work. So, before we get there though, let's just shake off any tension, any nerves, any anxiety. If you haven't done this before and you're thinking, no way, let's just get rid of some of that tension, yeah? So all together, don't worry about what you look like, we're all doing this. We're gonna take a big inhale breath and I want you to squeeze your shoulders right up towards your ears, yeah? As high as you can. And then exhale, let it go, let your shoulders just drop down. Feels pretty good, yeah? Let's do that again. Inhale, squeeze your shoulders up as far as you can. Exhale, let your shoulders melt down. Let's just do that once more, really good one. Big breath in, squeeze as hard as you can, tense up, and let all that tension go. Nice, all right. Now I'm gonna ask you all to close down your eyes. So no one can see you now, we're safe. Eyes closed, just let your hands just rest wherever is comfortable. And we're gonna do a really simple exercise here. We're gonna be breathing in for 5, holding the breath for 5, and breathing out for 5. I'm gonna count you through and then I'll let you go a few rounds by yourself. So all together, let's inhale for 2, 3, 4, and 5. Hold for 2, 3, 4, and 5. And exhale, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Let's do that again. Inhale. Hold, and exhale, sigh it out, let it go. Again, let's inhale, focus on the sensation of the breath coming in. Hold, and exhale, relax. 2 more, let's inhale. Let's hold, focus on your body, focus on the feeling of the seat beneath you supporting you. Exhale, let it go. Last one, let's inhale all together. 2, 3, 4, 5, hold. You have nowhere else to be, nothing else to do. Exhale. Keeping your eyes closed, just let your breath return to normal, not trying to control it or change it. And just feel the collective energy in the room. Feel the energy of the community that's been brought together. Feel that slight warmth of the person that's sitting next to you. And just take this as a moment to remember that you are what makes this event happen. Each and every one of you, regardless of your contribution, regardless of how many times you've been here before, or if it's your first time, regardless of what you do for work, regardless of your experience level, Every single one of you is important to what's going to happen here over the next 3 days. So as a community, all together, let's take one last nice, big, deep breath in through your nose. Let's go. Inhale. And all together, sigh it out. And then when you're ready, crack open your eyes. Nice work. Are we all feeling a little mellow? Yeah. The first day is pretty high energy, so hopefully that's kind of settled you, ready for everything else that's going to happen today. So thanks for having me. Come and see me. I'll be in the mindful corner for yoga, for meditation every day over the next 3 days. So come and say hello. Thanks.
Thank you, Chris.
Thanks, Chris.
Thank you. Absolutely wonderful. Yeah. Make sure to visit Chris at her Mindful Mornings and the Mindful Corner out in the barn. It will be going on throughout Codegarden. It's absolutely amazing. Okay, now that we got all the logistical info done and we are feeling great.
I feel great.
I feel great. I feel so great. Let's get to know you a little more.
Yes. So, you might have thought that you were here to attend Codegarden, but that's actually not true. You are Codegarden. You are it.
Yep, that's 100% true. You are the ones that make this conference feel very special. And we are going to help you make the most out of it and learn you to meet new colleagues.
Exactly.
Yep.
So we're going to demo a few scenarios of how you might introduce yourself to other colleagues around you. All right? Mm-hmm. So we've got scenario 1.
Yep.
This is potentially, a shy person who finds it a bit hard to make eye contact. Oh, gee, those are really great shoes.
Oh, thanks, dude. I like yours as well.
Oh,
okay, cool.
Thanks. Oh, hey. Oh, my name's Shannon.
My name is Jim.
Awesome to meet you, Jim.
Nice to meet you, Shannon.
Is it your first Codegarden?
This is my very first Codegarden.
Mine too. Awesome. Why don't we have lunch or something?
Yeah, and grab a beer later, maybe.
Cool. That sounds great.
Cool.
Thanks,
Perfect.
Jim.
See you, Shannon.
Good to meet you.
Bye. All right. Scenario 2. People constantly staring at their phones. Oh, sorry, dude.
Oh,
sorry.
Hey.
Hey, man.
What are you looking at there?
Twitter, following the Codegarden tweet.
I am too.
Oh, nice.
It's actually really great.
It's
we follow
awesome.
along.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, what's your handle?
Openhold.
Mine's Shazwaza.
I'll find you.
Cool. Well,
Yeah.
my real name is Shannon, though.
Oh, Shannon, great to meet you. My name is Jim.
Good to meet you, Jim.
All right.
All right, I'll follow you, but we should hang out later.
We should, definitely.
Great.
See you later,
Thanks, Jim.
Shannon.
Cheers.
Bye.
Then we've got scenario 3. So this is called the Codegarden veteran, right?
Yeah.
Jim,
Shannon.
how you going? Good morning.
Good morning, buddy. So good to see you.
Great to see you. I
Great
can't
to see
wait
you,
for
man.
this Codegarden.
It's gonna be awesome. I'm so ready, man.
That was a great level 5 good morning, by the way.
It was a perfect level 5 good morning. All right. And we actually have a scenario 4 as well, because this is basically how Shannon and I say good morning every day.
Every single day.
Every single day.
Jim.
Oh, what up, man? Good to see you, man. You rock.
You rock.
You rock,
No,
man.
you rock.
Shannon, you rock.
No, you rock.
You know you rock,
you
buddy.
Joker. All right.
All right,
See you
man.
around, man.
See you, man. Yeah.
So now that we've shown you, well, first of all, a very cool handshake, and also a few different ways that you could introduce yourself, we're going to put this into practice.
Yeah, so we'll
Everyone?
need everyone to stand up.
Come on.
Come on, please stand up.
Right, we're going to take 1-2 minutes to introduce yourself to 3 people that you've never met before. You can use any way you want to introduce yourself: handshake, nod, a bow, anything.
Can be everything.
It could be a hug. It could even
Could be
this
this one.
great new cool official Codegarden handshake if you want it.
Could it be the official Codegarden handshake?
All right. Now that you guys have mastered the handshake and you've met some new friends, we're gonna get back to our seats. All right. I know it's exciting. Come on, back to your seats. We can handshake everybody a bit later. But I want you to stay standing. Thank you. Stay standing, but be quiet.
Yeah. Attention, please. All right.
Stand. We've also got this great, awesome thing at Codegarden and
Keep
at
standing,
Umbraco,
please. Keep standing.
which is this. Right? Do you guys know what this is? Can I hear what it is?
Yeah, it stands for High Five You Rock. But what you don't know just yet is that today you're actually going to make world history. You
Yes.
are quite literally going to do something that has never been done in the history of the world before. You will be the first.
Yep, you are going to be the biggest group in the history of the world to simultaneously high five you rock. Okay, but there's a bit of a twist. You're not just going to yell it out, right? We need to make this a bit more difficult. We're going to demonstrate what we're going to do, okay?
Okay.
So we're going to count you in, you're going to do it, and then it's going to be great.
All right.
So, this is how it's going to go. One, two, three.
High five! You rock! All right?
Got it? So, again, 1, 2, 3.
High five! You rock!
You got that? You think you can do
We
it?
want you to do that.
We're going to try it. First go. First go, find yourself a partner, the person next to you.
Yeah.
All right? Now, we want you to be as loud as possible and as accurate as possible. Don't slap your partner in the face.
In the face, that would be horrible. Accurate.
We're going to count you in. And we're going to yell it with you.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3.
High five! You rock!
That was pretty
perfect.
awesome. Nice. You actually just made world history. Do you know that? That was the first time that's ever been done.
Amazing. Take a seat.
So we're running late, but we'll keep going.
Yeah.
We wanted to show you some amazing stats about you guys. Did
Yeah.
you know?
Because today there's actually more than 700 of you here. Amazing.
You also come from 28 countries.
Have a look. It's awesome. And it means that you speak approximately 23 different languages, such as C#, JavaScript, HTML, CSS, and many others.
And as you probably know, Umbraco 8 natively supports multilingual websites. So we thought it would be in your best interest to see if you can be as smart as Umbraco 8 is. So before we go, we wanted to give you some tips and some common phrases in your own languages that you might be able to use throughout Codegarden to introduce yourself to other colleagues in their native tongues. Right?
Yep.
And we believe that we're the best people to demonstrate this to you because we are language experts and are fluent
we
in
are.
every single language in the world.
I believe we are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll start with an easy one. This is good morning.
Very easy. In Danish, that would be God morgen.
In Australian, this is g'day.
In Germany, they would say Guten Morgen.
We'll step it up. This is how are you today?
bit more difficult, yeah.
Spanish, como está hoy?
Swahili, that would be Hojambo leo.
And in French, this is comment allez-vous aujourd'hui? Okay, we'll step it up a little bit more here. Okay. So this is nice to meet you.
Yep. In Finland, they would say Hauska Tavata.
In Arabic, this is ta sharaftu bimo kobalatik.
Yep. Ukrainian, that would be Prochemo Pushnayamatis.
Exactly. So now that you are fluent in several languages, feeling positive, and you've already met a lot of colleagues, it's time for you to be the Codegarden that you were meant to be. And we'd like to say a big super tack to everyone for coming, and even super skull.
Yep. And without further ado, it's our great pleasure to declare the start of Codegarden 2019 and to introduce the Chief Unicorn himself, Mr. Niels Hartvig.
Woo! Thank you.
Let's give a warm round of applause to Shannon and Jim. And as they said, welcome to the biggest Codegarden ever. This year, there's more than 700 people, which makes it more than 30 times bigger than the very first one. And just think about it for a second, how fantastic and crazy it is that we're 700 people gathered here, all passionate about Umbraco, traveled across the world to share our ideas, our thoughts, and maybe even some code with each other over the next 3 days. I really think it's crazy. You should try to be up here. It's the most awesome site ever. So thank you very much for that. And we have some wonderful things to share over the next couple of days. Of course, we have to start with a number. And finally, I'm back on a Mac so I can make crazy transitions. So the number of active installs of Umbraco right now, gathered by tracking the number of unique IP addresses that opens the dashboard more than 15 times, is over 500,000 now. And mind you, this means that all sites running on Azure only count for one. So it's probably a much bigger number than this. It's absolutely amazing. And it's possible because Umbraco has been what it is, because we're in this together. And I truly believe the combination of us as Umbraco HQ and you as the world's most amazing community have truly nailed open source in more than one sense. And I hope we'll continue to do that in the evenings here. So a big thank you for everyone at the HQ. We are totally delighted to go to work every day and to serve the world's best community. Thank you very much. So when we go to work at the Umbraco HQ, we are almost a normal company, which I think is actually a quite big strength of Umbraco, that it's not just a chaotic open source project, but there's also some very relatively ordinary type of departments that are serving organizations using Umbraco every day. For instance, our SWAT team that does outstanding customer service and support for both our cloud customers, but also our support customers, and everyone who tried to get in touch with us. And this is more than 10,000 requests every single year that we respond to over phone, our contact forms, etc. Which means that when some people hear about Umbraco, maybe some of your customers, there's actually someone in the other end that will respond to their requests. And a lot of them get a reply within a single hour. We also have the COMA department, our communication and marketing department that shares all the great stories about Umbraco. Last year, we launched umbraco.com/cases, which features some of the most interesting Umbraco solutions out there, which also means that, again, people who hear about Umbraco as a potential solution for their website or digital presence can go somewhere, filter by sector or by technology, and see if Umbraco could be something for them, and feel comfortable about that, or confident about that. And if you have some great case studies, make sure to get in touch with the COMA people so we can share all the best stories about how Umbraco is used. We have the suits, the people living in a caravan, helping our partners succeed with their projects. We have the D team, which is the department that handles the development of Umbraco CMS and Umbraco Cloud. They work hard every day to both create new code, but also review all the code that's coming in as the amazing pull requests. We have the fish tank, which is maybe sound like the most boring place to work in Umbraco, but it's actually the people who've organized all of this, so please give them a big round of applause. So there's the yin and the yang. 7 days, 14 days a year, they work hard setting up this venue, and the rest, they make sure that the most complicated procurement processes from Umbraco customers can be handled. Contrary to the early days of Umbraco, where people said, we would like to give you money, we said, pay with credit card. They said, we can't. We said, too bad. Let's just say we've matured since. But this combination of having a sustainable company that handles Umbraco together with the community is a big part of what makes Umbraco a big success. There's many ways to measure how satisfied people are. One of them is called NPS. It's Net Promoter Score, and it's the pop-up window that you sometimes see that says, on a scale from 0 to 10, how likely are you to recommend this to a friend or colleague, and then you close the window. Some people actually respond to this, and an NPS score goes from -100 to 100, with 28 being the industry average for software and apps. More than 70 is world-class. The Net Promoter Score for Umbraco is 72. Another thing we do at the HQ is our cloud platform. And the whole idea of Umbraco Cloud is to help you do Umbraco more efficient. There's an increasingly shortage of developers, and we need to make sure, in order for Umbraco to become a success, that the time spent for developers is done on something that creates value, not tedious things such as installing Umbraco, keeping it up to date, rolling out new deployments. It's our vision that we want to do that and make sure that Umbraco Cloud is the best place to run and maintain Umbraco sites. And the way it works is with Umbraco Cloud, you can create projects with a single click. We make sure to automatically upgrade your site whenever there's a patch release. When there's a new minor release, you can update with a click in a development environment so you can verify that nothing breaks. Click another button and that update will roll out. I've done it on a plane, totally drunk, drinking red wine, on crappy Wi-Fi, and it works. We also have one-click deployments, also for content, which means that you can roll out updates to your site with a single click. I've done that while eating a burrito, pressing the button with my chin, and it worked. And then we have the amazing customer support. At any time, there's a small chat window when you run on Umbraco Cloud, and we have people to help you if you get stuck on anything in regards to Umbraco Cloud. And then finally, you benefit of the knowledge of thousands of projects running on the same platform. We monitor what makes Umbraco run great and also what makes running Umbraco challenging, and we make sure to update the cloud platform to handle that and to be optimized for Umbraco sites. This means that you can focus on creating value for the customer rather than all the other things that are involved in an Umbraco project. And one of the ways you can do that is through something called baselines. This is the idea that while all your projects are completely unique, maybe you have a foundation for how you build sites, whether you're an agency or you're an organization. With cloud, you can base new projects of existing ones, and no matter how many sites you've done that with, you can roll out updates with a single click. In fact, our biggest user of baselines on Umbraco Cloud updates more than 1,200 websites with a single click. And of course, we never thought that would happen. We never thought it would be so successful and that people would use it for that many sites. So over the years, it has been a bit slower experience for those who've got a lot of sites. But I'm pleased to say that we recently rolled out a huge update to cloud, making sure that updating even more than 1,000 sites only takes a couple of minutes to load, and you can constantly monitor the progress and the success, including if some of the sites would be failing that deployment, and you can see why. It's rolled out, and you can use it today. Another thing we've learned running Umbraco sites is that once a Umbraco site has warmed up, it runs quite stable, unless you start having a lot of new images, and those images are large, then our engine to process images takes up a lot of resources. The same accounts when the site boots and it has to reload all the indexes, it also takes some time. So I'm pleased to announce that coming in Q3, we'll be introducing CDNs and image processing as a service, as well as examine indexes in cloud storage for cloud sites, and you don't have to do anything, meaning that your site will just run much more smoothly, and the spikes normally done through by image processing or by rebuilding indexes is offloaded to services that we run on the cloud, not affecting your website itself. This is super, super cool. Another thing with our cloud is working in teams. As Umbraco projects sometimes become more complex, we need to make sure that running larger teams on cloud becomes better. And there's a lot of work in progress to handle that. And I recommend that you, if you're interested in this, you join the next generation agencies on Umbraco Cloud, where our CTO, Jacob, will tell you more about what we're doing to support Umbraco Cloud for larger teams. It's going to be in the theater right after this keynote. So if you haven't tried Umbraco Cloud, or it's been a while, I think you should try it out today. You can do it at umbraco.io, or you can just go to the Cloud Lab and talk with our cloud experts and also get your questions or worries answered about using Umbraco Cloud. Umbraco Cloud is one of the things that finance the HQ, making sure that not only you get a better way to do Umbraco, but also that we can keep investing in the Umbraco CMS and in events like this. That was cloud. A little bit about the Umbraco HQ, but what's funny about, interesting about digital projects is that Umbraco is often just a little part of it. Running digital projects involve much more, such as e-commerce or personalization, and in the old days it was just a couple of extensions to do this. But the landscape today is much more varied, and we often are told, why are you only a CMS? Why don't you also support these things such as marketing automation, e-commerce, campaign emails, etc. And the truth is, we only want to be a CMS because this is what we're passionate about. And we believe that because we're passionate about this, because last week when we went to work, we were totally passionate about making Umbraco CMS better. And next week, when we got a little bit of sleep, we go to work again to make Umbraco CMS better and simpler again. And we believe that there's companies out there that are as passionate about marketing automation, about personalization, about e-commerce, as we are about CMS. Which is why Umbraco doesn't have a one-size-fits-all or a suite strategy, but we sincerely believe in the best of breed, and we want to develop Umbraco CMS with this in mind. And over the years, there's been a lot of extensions for Umbraco. In fact, there's more than 1,000 packages for Umbraco. But some organizations don't like to use packages because of their open source nature and because they might are concerned about support, updates, etc. And at the same time, there's a lot of third-party services in a world that is increasingly switching to SaaS, software as a service, that does these things and could integrate with Umbraco. And that's why we earlier this year introduced something called Umbraco Apps. It's the idea that we can complement all the great things about packages with a set of requirements for being an Umbraco app that addresses the concerns of open source on a package level. In fact, some packages are Umbraco apps today. So the requirements for being an Umbraco app is that it solves an end need, a need for an end user of Umbraco. So this is very much editor or marketeer focused. It's not as such development tools. It's some features that are not provided out of the box with the Umbraco CMS, and it has to be compatible with the latest versions of Umbraco. And in addition, it has to offer user-friendly documentation, so it's easy to use right away. We launched it earlier this year, and there's more than 20 Umbraco apps already, including apps for personalization, such as Raptor's Web Advisor, e-commerce, such as Storm Commerce, which is a headless commerce engine that integrates with Umbraco, search, such as Cluedo, which is much more advanced than normal search, as it will also give you insights and recommendations about what people are searching for, so you can optimize your content and your searches, and lots of others. And what's so wonderful about this is that we also see new companies being built around providing Umbraco apps for Umbraco. And today I'm pleased to welcome Jacob from Struct, together with Klaus from a company called Stark, to talk about what it's like to be an app partner and how they build Struct PIM on top of Umbraco. Please welcome them.
Hi, we have a couple of minutes to talk about our experience being an Umbraco app partner and building enterprise solutions with Umbraco. I'm Jacob, I'm from the company Struct. We are a gold partner and also now an app partner. Together with me I have Klaus from Stark, one of our customers actually using Struct PIM in their everyday work. I have to say my own first Codegarden was 3 years ago. Accidentally, I won the first heat of Umbraco Bingo. Suddenly, I got very, very nervous. I heard rumors about people getting tattoos made. Even rumors about people winning a piercing. But luckily enough for me, I only won a nice massage. But let's face it, there are crazy things going on here. So, we had to ask ourselves, Umbraco, high five, you rock. Is this serious? And yes, it is serious. In fact, we based our entire business on Umbraco. What are we making? We are making technology for e-commerce, and our main product is Struct PIM, which is a product information management system. It's sold via partners and mainly via Umbraco Gold partners, which means a lot of you guys out here already. And of course, we are looking forward to meet other gold partners over the next couple of days. But let's move to the case. As a short introduction, we're going to show you a movie from Stark's own world, explaining what it is we have been doing for them from a data perspective. They are speaking Danish. It's a very short video, but I think you'll get the note anyway.
Ej, skal vi ikke have nogle friske forsyninger? Ja, ja. Du kan godt huske, hvordan det gik sidst, ikke?
Det skal bygges væk! Er du også gået ned på udstyret? Så tag Stark.
Jo.
So even though Stark is capable of doing the things right for their customers, they had some issues regarding their own data.
Yeah, we did. What we came from was a classic enterprise PIM system. And the big why is, why change the system in production? For us, we were stuck in a predefined time-consuming system, using a bunch of hours maintaining and using a bunch of hours when upgrade. We never came to the fun part, actually worked together with the system, were proactive, and especially create this wow effect that our customers want. I wanted an agile PIM system, because we don't know the demands of tomorrow, and neither the direction of the future. So we needed a short time to market, and also play a little bit with our ideas and use the features that the system provides us with. After some inspiring dialogues with Struct and running a couple of proof of concepts, we went for their PIM, which is based on Umbraco. And the best part is actually that in a very short time we reach our goals. And how did we do that? It was actually a perfect blend of partnership, us in between, instead of using this traditional vendor-customer position where I order and you produce. We were dialogue-based, creating together, challenge one another, and that we're doing big time. And that's well combined with the other ingredients is this perfect blend. Actually, the extremely scalable and intuitive platform and the user-friendliness of Umbraco. We went from a long-term frustrations to happiness in a very short time. So for us, choosing This combination, this blend, is actually, we felt like we hit bullseye. Simple as that. Long story short, after the paperwork, we went straight to business. Building the frame, not just migrating one-to-one, but building the frame for the future Struct PIM. And then migrated the old system into Struct PIM, cleaning, editing data on approx 100,000 products. It was quite a tough job, but we have to do it to move forward. And we went all in together with Struct and set a target in 100 days. Reach it in 99, because 100 is a bad figure. And at top of that, data is key. You're all data guys, I know that. But images must be top of mind when you talk about online marketing. So our goal is to get as close as 100% as possible and stay there. But how do we actually know these figures? Is this just something coming up? It's not. We have a built-in dashboard at top of Struct PIM where we monitor key elements in our focus areas, for instance, the number of images. And at the same time, we have 20% of all our products has more than one image. We constantly adjust and increase the volume of data, the number of images, by using the tools that we have developed for the purpose, like bulk update, update item, import, spreadsheets, and our newest is actually a data supplier onboarding, where we don't have to import the spreadsheets or doing the changes. We just have to monitor and accept. So for us, it's all about collect and display data and inspire the customers to stay and buy. On a daily basis, we deliver data to 900 plus web shops. Not reaching 1,000 yet, but getting there. So, and yes, that is actually on one installation.
As Niels mentioned, you can find the app, among others, on Umbraco apps already today. And why do we love Umbraco so much? Besides being here today, we love Umbraco not only for the CMS, but for the idea of a digital framework that allows us to build standard applications for Umbraco. Of course, we like the friendship and partnership with other gold partners, and we're, as I mentioned before, really much looking forward to meeting more of you over the next couple of days. So what can we say? Umbraco apps,
high five, you rock!
Thank you, Jacob and Klaus. I think this is a great example. For many years, we've been talking about collaboration, contributions. We've been talking about that from a pure open source and pure Umbraco CMS standpoint. But now we are extending this into things that your customers need as well. And it's amazing to see that €1 billion business who came from enterprise switch to the way to the Umbraco way and actually enjoys and deliver better results with a closer relationship to people who are not an enterprise, but who are as passionate about making PIM as we are about making CMS. And that together makes it possible for Stark to deliver custom tailored data to more than 900 web shops. Struct was one example. You can find many more examples of this at umbraco.com/apps. And if you have some great ideas, or if you're building software, we would love to talk to you as well in the Partner Paradise or the Caravan. So that was one thing. But of course, at the core of what we do in Umbraco is the CMS. And a big part of what we do is to be the steward of the open source project of Umbraco CMS. This includes organized roadmap and the priorities, review all incoming code, the pull requests, together with the amazing people at the doc curators and the pull request team. Please give them a big round of applause. An absolutely amazing team. a very busy team. We also run online community such as the Our Umbraco website, but also support meetups and local events such as Umbraco festivals all over the world. Because we believe that one thing is software, but what makes Umbraco really special is this tight connection between the people and the humans that are actually what Umbraco is all about. And then we organize a small event one time a year. And some of this turned into Umbraco 8. You know, this thing we've been talking about for ages, for I don't know how many Codegardens, is now reality. And it's a release that contains 3 amazing features, a lot of cleanup, and it's actually real. It was released 3 months ago, and it's been the most stable major release we've ever built. And of course, I have to ask you, how many are using Umbraco 8 today? Which ones? How many have tried it? Sweet. Because else it wouldn't make sense that I do a small demo. So there's 3 key features of Umbraco 8. One of them being variants that makes it possible to create new websites in minutes. And once they are created, it's really easy for editors to update them, including side-by-side editing of different languages, the ability to save and publish different languages, of course, and also preview, using the responsive preview to see how the website looks, not only on different devices, but also in different languages. So before you publish your Spanish edition of your website, you can check that it looks cool on a phone, and then you can go back and just hit the publish button and publish either the entire site or just the Spanish version. Super, super easy to do. And all of the multilingual features is built with the end user, the editor in mind. We want them to work as fast as possible. But as projects become more complex, and as we add complexity, whether we want it or not, with variants, we also need to continue our mission on making it simpler to use Umbraco, including being simpler for editors. And that's why we introduced something called infinite editing. The idea with infinite editing is that pages increasingly are a composition of different elements all over your site, and we want to make sure that you can update those parts in context of where you are. So say I want to swap the featured wine on this site. When I found the page that I wanted to swap, I actually need to update the cropping of the image. So here I'm editing a related page. I'm editing the crop of the related image. So I actually get the brand of the wine. And I can do that in context. I don't have to move between sections. And I can save as I go and always return to where I started as an editor, which is more efficient and much more, you can feel much more confident in what you do as an editor. This also applies to everything else in Umbraco 8 as we roll it out, including editing doc types and templates in context of the content. One final thing we also added is a thing called content apps. The idea with content apps is that we have all these extensions, and we've had them for ages, but there's never been a good place to make a third-party extension in Umbraco a first-class citizen. So people have turned it into, hidden it in the menu, context menu, or maybe tried to disguise it as a property editor, which is not. But we wanted a way for editors to have the ability to get feedback on the content they are creating before they publish, and get insights on the content after it's published. And that's the purpose of content apps. They reside as a first-class citizen, just like content, and depending on the apps you've installed and your permissions, for instance, as an editor, you can get Google Analytics data in context of the content you're creating. So breaking down silos, making sure that editors get the feedback in the world they live, which is the content they're creating, and also maybe even be able to get some insights whether the content is as good as possible before they publish it. We were really excited about content apps, and before 8 launched, we invited people for a competition to create the best content apps out there, and this Google Analytics plugin by Anders Bjerner was one of them. The one the package that won was absolutely outstanding and totally blew us away. It followed the vision of giving editors insights before they publish. It's a package called Pre-Flight. It's from the Umbraco MVP, Nathan Wolf. I would like to invite Nathan on stage to demo it now. Please give him a warm welcome.
All right, I'll see if I remember my password. Yes. Okay, so that's not where I wanted to be. The idea, I guess, for what ended up becoming Pre-Flight was that as much as Umbraco lets us create really editor-focused environments that are really great places for content editors to be working in, that doesn't stop them from still being able to create horrible content. They do their best, but aren't always. That's better. So the idea for Pre-Flight then is that we can run some tests against the content on a page before it's saved. We can provide feedback to the editors so that they know that they might be using some vocabulary in there that's some words that are too long, too complicated. They might have some links to known dangerous sites. They might be using terms that we don't want them to use on our site. So as an example, we've got just a simple content page, some text editors, some grid content. We've put some content in there. This is big news in Australia at the moment that McDonald's is changing the way they are cooking their signature patties. And so when the page is loaded, that plugin's run, and it's given us some feedback to say that one test has failed. And that test was in the RTE content. And it's given us some feedback around how difficult that content is to read, some word lengths, sentence lengths, flagged some words that we might want to reconsider because they may be too complicated for our audience, and we can blacklist some terms. What we can do with the blacklist, there might be words that we don't want people to use on our site. So you might not be a huge fan of Macca's, you might be a huge fan of Sitecore, which if I've updated my settings, so we get those tests ran when I switched into the app context, and it now lets me know that we have a term in there that we do not want our editors using. So those tests, out of the box, I've built a few simple tests for things like readability, the blacklist, whitelisting of terms, and those sorts of things. Zoom back here. So those then can all be configured from the settings section. We can disable plugins, we can set things to run only as part of a save event so that they don't update when you flick back into that app context. We can do auto replacement, we can check some link health and those sorts of things, which is all good, but the bigger part, I think, like most of those tests aren't doing anything overly complicated. They're just taking some text content and processing it. The more useful part, I think, is that all those tests are completely pluggable. So you can write your own Pre-Flight plugins. You just have to implement a particular interface to run your test against, and then there's some directives that come with the package that let you wire up a UI for it reasonably easily. So when you then add your own, they'll be run in that same context and just added as a similar sort of UI to these items. So it's really focused on just trying to help content editors get the best content that they can possibly get onto the page without having to do too much thinking themselves. So that is Pre-Flight.
Awesome.
I'll leave that.
Think about this. Umbraco 8 hasn't even been out for a little more than 3 months, and we're already seeing content apps such as Pre-Flight, which means that editors can create better content than ever before and get Google Analytics insights in the context of the content they created after it's published. I'm super excited about content apps, especially Pre-Flight, so please make some noise for Nathan. It's really amazing. And there's other packages that are utilizing all the cool things that we put into to Umbraco 8. Here's an example by Kevin Jump of Jumo, who created a package called Translation Manager. So it's really cool to have multilingual in Umbraco, but it also means that there's probably a workflow for translations that's needed to be handled afterwards. Kevin is super excited about translation workflows, and he created an amazing package for 8 that utilizes all the features, variants, infinite editing, and content apps. And look at this demo here. So I have a page on a multilingual site, and I need to translate this English page into German, as well as other languages. But in this case, we want to create a job for a German translation. The translation tool is a content app. So when I have permissions for it, I can just initiate a new translation job using either XLIF, which is a format that translators use, or in this case, sending it off to Microsoft's artificial intelligence services that will translate the content from English to German, and it's automatically imported back into Umbraco in a matter of seconds. Then, in context again, I can edit and review that translation, including changing something that might not be correct. And once I'm done with that, I can publish the entire, approve and publish the entire translation, and then it's live on my website, all integrated into Umbraco. And if I wanted to, I can even use infinite editing from the translation tool and see not only how it matches side by side, but also how the translation will look for me as an editor, making sure that everything looks good, and then use the preview mode before I publish to see how the translation turned out. So this is just one example of how collaboration with Umbraco is not only about the open source part, but also how we try to design future versions, current and future versions of Umbraco with extensibility in mind. In this case, working with translations and translation workflows is a completely seamless experience, completely integrated into Umbraco, but actually also a complete third-party package available on umbraco.com/apps. Really, really think that this package from Kevin Jump and Jumo is a role model for how Umbraco apps should be integrated. And he's not here, but make some noise so he can hear it, because he's put in a lot of work into this. So we talk about this idea of designing for contributions, that we not only want ambassadors, but we actually also want participants. Because it is the community that makes Umbraco so amazing. And why is that? And how have we moved from just focusing on the process and structure into actually focusing exactly on the collaboration? I'd like to talk a little bit about that, because the reason why people like Kevin, like Nathan, and all the other MVPs are so important is because of the ripple effect. If you look at on this chart that I unfortunately imported, so it's not as beautiful as it was supposed to be. That's my PowerPoint skills. But if you look at the Umbraco company, we are tiny. Even though we feel like we've grown a lot, we're just 50 people, a little over 50 people. But the Umbraco community is more than 225,000 people that are visiting the Our Umbraco website more than 25 times a year. But there's a lot of things in between. But every single time we spend an hour at the Umbraco HQ, that work affects thousands of hours in the community, which is why the more people we can get to help contributing, the better we can make Umbraco through this ripple effect. So we can go from 50 employees to 550 unique contributors to 2,500 people who are actively answering questions from the more than 7,000 people who dare to ask questions and share thoughts. And again, moving all the way to the almost 250,000 people who lurk and learn about how to use Umbraco from the answers already asked, or the questions already asked and already answered. And this work was, the focus on improving this work started a few years ago, where we really started to focus on the structure and the process of how we could work with pull requests, the introduction of the amazing pull request team that worked so hard. And since Codegarden, the number of not only PRs, but closed and merged PRs has exploded. And just the last year, there's been almost 1,700 PRs committed to Umbraco. This is incredible. And if you want to help the PR team reviewing pull requests, I'm sure they accept new members. What's really, really amazing about this community is that it's beyond just code. There's been a lot of initiatives launched over the last couple of years to really help improving the experience of Umbraco. One example is the virtual meetup. For people who might not be able to attend a local meetup, the community now organizes virtual meetups through Hangouts where people exchange knowledge no matter where they are in the world. And it's really fun to watch these meetups because people come, just like here, from all over the world. There's the Code Cabin, which is an Umbraco unconference where you can apply for, maybe you heard about the Umbraco retreat, this invite-only event where we invite people to help affect the Umbraco roadmap. Code Cabin is a place where you can apply. And together with other Umbraco enthusiasts, you can spend a weekend sharing ideas and thoughts under absolutely amazing hospitality of the people from UMCO, including Matt Brailsford, Lee Kelleher, but more than anything else, the warm hospitality of Lucy Brailsford. I can really recommend that you apply to this one. Umbraco is also for people who doesn't write code. And I've wanted this for such a long time, but finally someone actually did something about it, launching an initiative called Upractinus, which is a virtual meetup and a virtual community for project managers, designers, editors, and people working with Umbraco but doesn't write code as such, to discuss how Umbraco can be improved. And this is really, really important and a fantastic initiative as well. And a side project from this is actually an accessibility group who are domain experts and passionate about accessibility, who started recently to wanting to improve the accessibility of the Umbraco back office. And they are doing amazing work. And they have already sent more than 18 pull requests to improve the accessibility of Umbraco, making sure that the Umbraco community can be even more diverse and that even more people can use the Umbraco back office. Give them a huge amount of applause. And of course, there are some people who just affect this ripple effect a little bit more than anyone else, and it's our MVPs. They're the role models that go the extra mile. And it's been so amazing to see how our MVPs used to be only developers, not that developers are only, but it's only one group of the people using Umbraco, and now it's much more diverse, people organizing events, writing documentation, and much more. And I would love to, for all of you, to give a lot of noise to all the MVPs who've been renewed this year. But someone has to be new MVPs as well. So are you ready to make more noise than ever in this room? Because I think we should call some of them up on stage. So the first batch of the new MVPs are Anthony Dang, Frederick Roby, Heather Floyd, and Hendy Ratcher. I will make sure to get the last one sent to Hendy. The next batch is Henk Bolman, Ismail Mayat, Ken Jacobson, Laura Weatherhead, and Lucy Brailsford. Sådan. And last but not least, the last batch, Mike Macy, Purnima Nayar, Søren Gregersen, Søren Kottal, and Steve Temple. Thank you so much. Louder! The 2019 MVPs. Whoops. One last time. The MVPs are the ones at the forefront of helping to make Umbraco better. And what's the reason that contribution matters so much? It's because no matter how much we from the Umbraco HQ pour into the Umbraco CMS, we might be the experts in the Umbraco CMS, but we are not the experts in using it. The cool thing about collaboration and contributions is that it's things that doesn't come from the lab, but it's experience from real-world projects. Now, normally, the relation between vendors and users, or vendors and customers, or vendors and humans look like this, completely separate. No matter how much market research or customer satisfaction research you do, there's a complete disconnect between the people who makes the software and the people who actually use the software. What's fantastic about an open source project like Umbraco that has a lot of collaboration and contribution is that those two melt, and that while it may not be all users and customers and humans that use Umbraco that contribute, the ripple effect will ensure that all of this knowledge spread to thousands and hundreds of thousands of people. And this is what makes Umbraco very special and different from so many other competing CMSs, is that there's so much knowledge from real-world projects that are not only made as third-party applications, as packages, but also go straight into the core product. And this is what makes Umbraco really, really special. Now we want to take this up a notch, because while we've had almost 700 PRs, a lot of it has been mostly around what's already there. For a long time, when there's new features introduced into Umbraco, or massive changes introduced to Umbraco, it's made by the Umbraco HQ together with a small selection of people in a process that's not been transparent enough. Which is why we're introducing requests for contributions, not requests for comments, but requests for contributions today, with the idea that new changes to Umbraco, major changes to Umbraco or new features should be done in collaboration with you, the people who actually know and have to deal with the changes when they are done. It's going to be a completely transparent process where any major change or any major new feature goes through this process of requests for contributions. It's inspired by the best, such as the Rust language and React's request for comments process, and even standard organizations such as the Internet Engineering Task Force, but twisted the Umbraco way, because we want to use the Umbraco values of open, So we ensure that anything that goes into the RFP process is completely transparent, that we are hungry, we want more people to participate, not only developers, but also editors, project managers, and designers. We want respect in the process, so we have a very clear code of conduct which will be enforced, making sure that this work is inclusive and everybody can feel safe and comfortable participating in the RFP process. We trust, because while it might make us vulnerable to release this, including saying, here's some things we don't know, we believe that it's a strength, not a weakness, to actually ask for help, so we don't release something that's broken just because our egos didn't want us to say that we didn't know what we were doing. And finally, friendly. This should be fun, it should have the Umbraco vibe, and it should put a smile on your face when you are part of this process. It's live today on github.com/umbraco/RFCs, and the first RFCs is already there. We have an RFC for a new rich text editor, because the current one might have served us well, but it's too clumsy for simple things, and the advanced things that TinyMC does is something we don't need. We need something that can make the editing experience of content in Umbraco as fantastic as the absolutely stunning editor experience of medium.com, to ensure that editors can work as fast as possible, and we would love feedback from editors around what we could do. A new block-based editor to replace the grid, because while the grid also has served us well, and in some implementations are absolutely stunning, it's quite hard to tame. And right now we have grid editors, we have stacked content, we have nested content. We would love to have one thing that could serve as a foundation, and that'd be very easy to modify for anything from simple row-based landing pages to complex CSS grids. And we believe we need your help with this to make something that is as good as the grid should have been. New documentation guidelines, because documentation needs to be a first-class citizen in Umbraco. When we launch new features, they need to be have great documentation, and there's a whole new set of guidelines on how that could be, and we would love, again, your feedback whether we are nailing documentation. Then reinventing the front end of the back office. Again, AngularJS has served us well. It makes extending Umbraco extremely easy, but it's also time to move on, not tomorrow, but we want to start that process today by helping us getting feedback on which part of Umbraco you want to extend, what's the best way to do it, in a way that doesn't talk about frameworks, but actually talking about what do we want to achieve in terms of being able to tailor and contribute to the Umbraco back office. And last but not least, a plan to move to .NET Core. We are committing to moving to .NET Core, and we have an RFC that outlines a complete plan on how this should be done, and you can read it on the RFP pages as well. And what's great about these RFPs is that they all are based on the same template, including outlining why we want these changes, shortcomings, where we need your feedback, what alternatives have been researched, and much more. But one thing is great intentions. Another thing is turning this into reality and into a roadmap. And I'd like to welcome our fantastic CTO, Jacob, on stage, who is the captain that made sure that Umbraco 8 actually happened and came safe to shore. Please welcome the amazing Jacob.
Thank you. Quite the introduction. So let's start with Umbraco 8 successfully being launched, and of course we're very happy about this, but although Niels put it very kindly in terms of how that happened, I would like to take this opportunity to say this was a massive effort from a lot of people, both at the HQ, with our partners, and in the community. It's not just programming, it's everything that is around launching a new product. such as documentation and marketing material and of course all the programming that happens, but also all the bug fixing, figuring out what works, what doesn't. So I think we should all just give a big round of applause to everybody that actually helped making Umbraco 8 happen and getting it successfully launched. Right, one of the next things that we are looking at now, upcoming, and we've talked about this before, is Umbraco Headless. Umbraco Headless is going to be a SaaS offering from Umbraco, much like Umbraco Cloud is today, but with, of course, a headless approach to CMS, meaning that once you want to use content management for your mobile app or front-end applications in other languages than what we support with Umbraco today, you now are able to use the back office and the CMS experience that you know and love from Umbraco with other projects as well. So we're very excited about this. We will be, from launch, supporting Umbraco Headless with multiple client libraries in different languages, including samples on how to get started. And as Niels mentioned, we're looking into additional cloud services that can build it to be an even better platform, such as content delivery networks, as part of the launch as well for Umbraco Headless. And those of you who have tested Umbraco Headless with the trials and the beta flow that we've had until now, and thank you to all that did. We've had a massive interest for it so far and got a lot of good feedback. But that platform runs off of Umbraco 7. Once we launch Umbraco Headless, it will all be based on Umbraco 8. So very excited about that and looking forward to that in third quarter of this year, which is what it says right there. All right, so I'm here also to talk a little bit about roadmap. We want to be more transparent about what we do at the Umbraco HQ, but also where the direction is going for the CMS and the products that we provide. So what we're going to do now going forward is to start having more public-facing roadmaps from a product perspective, saying more about what is actually happening, what is the direction, what are we working on now, what are we expecting to pick up next, and what are the beacons out there for later that we are striving towards and looking forward to and committing to making happen in the near future. So if we look at the now part, which is stuff that is happening right now, we have an Umbraco 7.15 release coming out, expected this quarter. This Umbraco release for Umbraco 7 includes performance improvements to the preview functionality of Umbraco 7. And then there's tons of community improvements in there as well, tons of PRs being merged as we've seen with the previous Umbraco 7 releases. Really happy to see that happening. I also want to announce that this is the last planned release from Umbraco HQ for Umbraco 7. Which brings us to the next release for Umbraco 8, which is the first minor release for Umbraco 8. This one will include lots of improvements based on the learnings that we've got from all of you that used Umbraco 8. There's some performance improvements in there, especially around startup timing. There's some corrections on some of the APIs based on feedback that we've gotten. And then there will be support for content migration from what will most likely be 7.15 to 8.1, so that you will be able to start an 8 project with the content that you had in your 7 installation. And finally, as we already talked about, Umbraco Headless expected third quarter with the improvements and Umbraco 8 support that I just mentioned. So that's the now bit. If we then look on what's coming next, the first one we have up there is deploy on-premise. So one of the great things about Umbraco Cloud is the brilliant deploy experience of content and code between environments. We're looking again at bringing some of this deployment technology available outside Umbraco Cloud. Right now this is entering a phase 2 of testing. We've already done 1 round of testing. We're doing some improvements based on the feedback that we got from that round of testing. And we will be testing it again with a select few before we make this product more generally available. The other part related to the RFCs that Niels mentions is grid editing improvements. So we want to give better support for the workflows that are today being done by using our grids editors. and there's been some testing going on. There's been great RFC work happening at the Codegarden retreat this year, and we will pick that up and start working on that project next, and include, of course, more details about what will that end experience be, and we'll be looking for more both comments but also contributions on making this happen. And finally, we're going to look into giving it a better experience of working with media in the CMS itself, better usage tracking of where do I use my media, what's happening with it, and more tools in that area so that it will be a better and easier experience to control your media as that grows and your media usage in the back office becomes more complex. So start looking at how we can give better overview and better tools in that area. So that's for the next up. And then for the later bit, which again, remember, those are the beacons that we are committing to and striving towards achieving in the near future. The one big thing to mention here is, of course, our commitment to producing Umbraco CMS and moving it forward to .NET Core. So we're very excited about committing to this today, and with all of you bringing the platform from the network framework to .NET Core. So very happy about that one today. This will be a great change in terms of architecture, but also for performance gains. And then we have to remember that this will be the switch that will also make Umbraco CMS relevant for the .NET developers of the future, because .NET Core is the future of .NET development from Microsoft. So very excited about this one. And this was the last bit that I wanted to share with you guys today. Have a wonderful Codegarden from my side. I'll be here, of course, for the entire conference. If you want to talk products or technology or anything else, come and find me. More than happy to have that conversation. See you around. Thank you.
So, I guess this sums it up. This keynote, if we just look at what we've been talking about, we talk about more collaboration, both in terms of Umbraco apps and extension points in Umbraco 8, but also the collaboration between Umbraco HQ, core team members, and the entire community, where we've moved beyond the work of processes and structure the last couple of years into an RFC process, so we make sure that from end to end, the entire process of maintaining and developing Umbraco is going to be completely transparent, with everything out in the open. You also see in the roadmap, there's lots of things for Umbraco 8 ahead, especially focused around making it even better for Umbraco, for editors, not only including a better rich text editor experience, but also better experience around media and landing pages. And then, I don't know if you really noticed this, but we are 100% committed to moving to .NET Core, and the work has already begun. And if you're interested in this, make sure to read the RFP, comment on it, and let's make sure that the first version of Umbraco on .NET Core is going to be as amazing as possible out there. And then finally, the reason why Umbraco is so good is not because of the Umbraco HQ, but it's because of you. We make Umbraco better together, and with the new processes, we can make it even better because there's even more people that can contribute. And this journey is not something that is starting in the future. It starts today at this very event. So make sure to have that in mind as you see sessions, as you meet core people and Umbraco HQ people, and make sure to go to github.com/umbraco/RFPs and start reading those RFPs. Because you are the most amazing community on this planet, and I'm so touched and happy to see so many of you at this conference, and I'm really looking forward to the next 3 days. Thank you very much, and enjoy Codegarden.